Welcome friends to my new channel with another video. As always, if you enjoy these videos, please make sure to hit subscribe button. What's the most present you can give someone for Christmas? Blockbuster gift card. My mom once gave someone an inflatable dartboard. Regifting a gift basket, but it's obvious that you took out some items that you liked. Once my sister was pissing me off. I got her a $5 gift certificate for a store she was working at. She was pissed. My brother once annoyed my sister, so she threatened to get him Teletubbies underwear instead. Except for the instead part, she followed through on her promise. Regift them what they gave you last year. Be careful that you don't mistakenly achieve awesomeness. I got my brother and his wife some alien salt and pepper shakers for probably Christmas after a road trip through Roswell. When they regifted them right back to me the next year, I thought that was the best thing ever. I will put salt on my eggs this Saturday morning from one of them. Bahaha, my husband's grandma is notorious for regifting stuff. One year we bought them these super fancy chocolates, and a couple months later she gave them to us. She definitely forgot we have them to her, haha, oh well. My grandpa is notorious for regifting too. He's also notorious for being a dick. One year my mom gave him a kitchen knife set for Christmas. The next year he gifted it back to her. He even admitted it was regifted, but thought it came from someone else, or pretended to, and started talking shit, saying he had no idea why someone would think he'd want that as a gift. A few years later he gifted my sister a dusty box of cheap Kmart brand drinkware from probably the 70s or 80s for her wedding. When she opened the box there was a fucking dead spider sitting in one of the glasses. Several other family members mentioned they had seen that box sitting in his garage for years. Dude is pretty damn good at giving gifts lamau. Rose Arts Craft Supplies. My son gave me a beer mug that said, "Ring the bell if you are the best dad ever." He had removed the bell. I gave my 4-year-old niece a 30-pack of colored glitter glue. The fuck you was to my husband's sister-in-law. I gave my brother's children this big box of working toy musical instruments. Years later, when I had a son, he gave him this flashlight that played the bass line from Bad to the Bone every time you switch it on. No joke, all his children are now musicians. I suspect mine will grow up to enjoy turning lights on and off. Make a donation in their name to a charity, cause, or organization that is in opposition to their beliefs. Then give them the thank you email receipt from the donation in a Christmas card, or better yet wrap it up in a big box. A gift card to a lingerie store from my grandma. The fucked up part wasn't the gift itself, but the fact that she made my poor 19-year-old brother go in and buy it. As he told it, the conversation went something like this. Cashier. Shopping for your girlfriend. Brother. No, my sister. Well, my grandma. Awkward silence. When I was about 17 for Christmas, my mom gave me a couple of common household items and empty cardboard boxes. It'd unwrap a gift and the box would have nothing inside. After a few I finally asked why so many gifts were empty. With a big grin on her face she happily responded, "They are boxes for your things when you move out." Not the most universal Christmas gift, but if you are pushing someone out of your home I'd say giving wrapped empty boxes is a pretty fuck you. I'd also like to note that I hadn't discussed moving out to her, nor did I have plans to move out soon. I know 17-year-olds are a pain in the ass without even trying, they don't even understand why they are annoying. But the whole move out when you are 18 thing is harsh and it pushes young adults to make bad decisions. Between the two of you, one of you is supposed to be the adult and the child did not ask to be born. I'm not talking about a 35-year-old neckbeard that will not move out of their parents' basement, but isn't there a middle ground? If I was getting a 4-year degree, you'd allow me to stay for 4 years, but if I'm learning a trade, I have to parent. I joined the Navy, and I got zero advice about life and relationships. Do 18-year-olds suddenly start making wise decisions? So you don't like my girlfriend wife? You think we should wait to have kids? You don't like what we named our kid? You don't want us to move out of state? You're mad that we don't come home for Christmas Thanksgiving? I wonder why. Every once in a while there will be a free donkey in the classifieds here. I repeat, free donkey. Last time it was 2 donkeys. I always try to get the wife to let me have one. Then she reminds me they are asses. Literally and metaphorically. They take space, they eat food. Food you have to store. Require some shelter, water, upkeep. They require tons of upkeep and we don't have anywhere to put the damn thing. That would make the worst damn gift. Look up where the term white elephant gifts come from. White elephants are horrible gifts because they require tons of upkeep and you can't give them away. They were the donkey of the ancients. To me, it was the present we didn't get. One year my aunt, my mom's brother's third wife, had t-shirts made with our family's last name on them. She gave them to their 3 kids, my uncle, herself, my cousin, from my uncle's first wife, and his wife, and my grandfather. I think this was one of the first Christmases after grandma had passed away. Me and my mom. Nope. Apparently since our last names weren't Johnson, we didn't count as part of the Johnson family enough. It should be mentioned that we have always been treated like black sheep by her and my uncle. I'm in my late 40s now, and it wasn't until more recently I learned I am autistic and have ADHD. It wasn't something Gen Zers, especially girls, got diagnosed with back then. Instead, we were just bullied for being weird. As an adult, I have come to understand that it's genetic and runs in families, and I now see that my mother is also autistic, and I suspect my grandfather was as well. It's also worth mentioning that my father died when I was extremely young, and I never knew his side of the family. So, even though I had a different last name, in my heart I was a Johnson and only a Johnson. When my aunt pulled this t-shirt stunt, it hurt me in ways that I still carry over 20 years later. Unfortunately, this was par for the course with her when it came to family Christmases. She would have her kids open lavish expensive gifts, and I would get a re-gifted small basket of dollar store lotions that was obviously something given to her by one of her employees because it was her favorite color, not mine. And in case anyone is wondering, no, we don't talk to them anymore. A dress deliberately 2 sizes too small, and then when unwrapping it on Christmas they tell you it's for motivation. Duty. My parents got me a purse. A pretty little clutch. I'm a man and have never carried a purse in my life. That felt like a gift. A $5 Starbucks gift card. Very few drinks on the menu are less than $5. They'll most certainly have to pay the difference on the first and only use. A scratch-off lotto ticket. For a 12-yo. Also already scratched off lotto ticket, thanks Grandma and Carmichael. Actually, I've won on one pretty big, $1,400 for a 12-yo is a lot of money for a kid. However, immediately after revealing that I had won big, Grandma then demanded I share the winnings with 2 of my cousins 30/70, 30% for me, 70 for them. When I said no, she then started demanding I should give the ticket back to her because I was being an entitled brat. I should also mention my brother, who was 8 at the time and also won on his ticket that year, $600. She told him to do the same, but he followed my example. My 2 cousins had gotten $200 cash from Grandma just before we were given our tickets. My stepdad bought and wrapped his ex-girlfriend a vacuum for Christmas because I suppose she had been complaining about her broken one for a few weeks leading up to Christmas. How my stepdad described his train of thought while his ex's sister opened a diamond pendant necklace and her mother opened a charm bracelet and pajamas. Aw shit, I'm getting dumped. At my wedding this summer, my Phil refused to dance with me and had an anguished scowl in every picture we took. Worst day of his life, apparently. My husband suggested we make him a collage of just his face from every picture he ruined. Or Photoshop his mouth into an upside-down frown and see if he notices. My sister-in-law is doing pretty good. Over the years, she has given me a $4.99 lawn chair, unwrapped, a book about the joys of pregnancy when I was in my early 20s and she knew I didn't want kids at the time, a poorly homemade pillow made out of the scratchiest wool she could find, and books about being a vegan. I'm not. I mean, if you're really trying to say you, make sure you bring absolutely nothing to whatever event you're attending where you're supposed to give the gift. Nothing says you like a blank stare and refusing to accept their gift in return. As in, set it down when it's given to you and don't pick it up again, and it's free. I got a really nice beard trimming kit from my ex-girlfriend. I'm in my 30s and can't even grow a single hair on my face. It's the only present I've ever opened and said WTF is this. My co-worker would gift stupid gifts that weren't really funny. So one year when he gifted me a toilet seat in front of the office, thinking it was funny, laughing away. I purposely gifted him a warm fleece blanket, knowing our Kamapni apartments we all lived in were really cold in winter. In which instantly made him look like a complete asshole in front of everyone and made it really awkward for him that day. The look on his face that he felt guilty about it and the shame of looking bad in front of others really got under his skin. Lol. My plan B was to gift him a rabbit, cause he is terrified of rabbits and would have to care for it all day at the office. But I didn't want to harm a rabbit knowing he might neglect it. In the end, just know your enemy and you'll come up on top with a gift. I gave my baby sister Cole once for Christmas because it is my job as an older brother to tease her. I put it in this fancy clear cube. She opened it up and excitedly asked Cole, what is it? Everybody in unison says Cole. She threw a fit. I'm going home in 2 days to stay with her and her 4-yo for a week. I'm gonna have some fun with that kid. Edit. My sister picked me up at the airport last night and when we stopped for gas I told her daughter I was going to get her candy. Got her a big platter of broccoli, cauliflower and carrots. I got a girl a spiked pineapple and a Secret Santa in college because I absolutely hated her. The idea was for her to be handed this fruit, say what the and just carry on knowing I didn't care enough to put in even a little effort. Word spread within the group about the spiked pineapple. Everybody found out that she is allergic to pineapple. Nobody told me that she was allergic to pineapple. I handed a girl who is allergic to pineapple an entire, uncut pineapple for Christmas. I kinda looked like for that one, eh? When I was about 12 years old I started getting into music, so for Christmas I asked my parents for a specific cassette tape because I'm old and shit. Well, Christmas is approaching and the presents start making their way under the tree. My sister and I, being little shits, immediately recognize that there is one cassette-sized present for each of us and immediately thereafter snidely thank our parents for the albums we asked for. Well, my dad was like, you know what? He didn't say it, though. No, he just quietly took the actual presents out from under the tree. He took a blank cassette for each of us and wrapped it up, replacing them under the tree, obvious he used the same paper. So, Christmas morning comes, and my sister and I happily tear into the presents and get to our cassettes. When we see what's happened we both roll our eyes while he chuckles his ass off, teasing that maybe we'll still get them, maybe they're still under the tree, keep looking. So, we continue, because obviously he's just being dad and we'll get the cassettes before the morning is over. Well, then we get to these two really large presents that hadn't been there before, even though we were too old for it, my parents always still kept back some presents from Santa, and we had no idea what the hell they could be this year. So, we open them up and there's another box inside. We open that and another box. You see how this went. Finally, we open like the sixth box, and it's a wrapped up cassette. We pick them up, shake them something isn't right. They are really light. We open them yep, there's the cases of the cassettes we asked for, and when we opened them chewed gum. Just a single piece of chewing gum. Now my father is laughing his ass completely off. We all were. I mean that shit is funny. Anyway, we both got the albums we wanted. That was just dad. This will be the first Thanksgiving without him. I miss him like crazy. TLDR chewed gum disguised as something you really want.